risky behavior.
The views and opinions expressed on this channel are solely those of the host and guest and are intended for entertainment and discussion purposes only. This channel does not promote bias, hatred, or discrimination of any kind. All questions posed and thoughts shared are part of a critical thinking exercise and are not meant to offend or judge any individual or group. We encourage respectful dialogue and love for all. Please remember to think critically and engage thoughtfully. We aim to foster a positive and inclusive community where everyone feels welcome. Thank you for being a part of Risky Behavior ENT.
Risky behavior.
Hello, how are y'all doing? Welcome to Risky Behavior. I am your host, Mr. Diabolical himself. This is a part of the whole, Beware the Messenger Diabolical series. This one I am doing should sex dolls be banned? Now, I want to issue a trigger warning. Anything that I do in this video is for educational purposes, and hopefully I don't get struck down. Um, which happens sometimes when I do videos like this, so it's kind of hard to keep them up. But anywho, so I was on Clubhouse, where I do most of my conversations before I do videos, and we were discussing, do we think that one day in the distant future, because people talking about the whole AI thing, and AI is taking over, is taking people jobs, which is true, in a lot of cases. But then we were talking about sex dolls, right? And we was like, what if one day, as technology gets better, sex dolls start replacing human beings in our relationships? And it took us down this whole rabbit hole, right? Because you even got people that are falling in love with AI just on a computer without even the body, just on the computer, conversation only. People are falling in love with AI. So we then started going into now, if you combine that AI technology that people are falling in love with on the internet and mix that with, you have, and I've seen articles of men who have whole relationships with sex dolls, right? If you combine those two technologies, if you combine them, could they replace people's interacting with each other and in relationships? Who knows? Shout out to Adam Wall. Appreciate you coming through. Says no, they shouldn't. Okay. Um, so I started doing research, finding out what kind of dolls are out there, because I didn't sway one way or the other, Um, and I started getting on some of these websites. I'm not going to post any of them in this video. You have to do that research on your own. But I started going on some of these websites, and they would have these dolls for sale, many of them life size lookalikes, right? Now, while I'm going through these websites, and this is why I'm doing this show today, when I'm going through these websites and I'm seeing the different type of dolls they have, doing research into what they're made of, what technology are in them, how much they cost, and what I realized, and then all of a sudden, I find this one website, and I got so scared I had to jump off of it, right? They have dolls, and they were calling them flat chested dolls, but they were dressing them like kids. And I said, oh man. I said, what's going on? I said, this is crazy. I was like, how can this be legal? It can't be legal. And that prompted me to get on the internet and see, and I even found some stuff on YouTube, and so I'm gonna be showing some news clips of that, but yeah, this is a serious issue. Shout out Adam Wall says instead of a ban, we must offer a better deal to men and women. Yeah, you know what? Adam, I don't think that we should ban necessarily sex dolls for grown men and grown women, and dolls that look like grown men and grown women. I think the sex dolls, the reason it's gotten out of hand is because now you're starting to see where people with perversions are actually starting to get these dolls that look like children. And that's what brought me to making this video, is because I was just doing research into the technology behind sex dolls. And then if you look hard enough, you start seeing other versions of dolls, ones that look like vampires. They got ones like look like werewolves, and just for different people and kinks and what they're into. And then all of a sudden I discovered, I'm like, what the hell, they're making child dolls? And I was like, this should be completely um illegal. And through my research and the videos I watched and the articles I've read, they actually had to start attaching laws to that, where they're making them illegal to import. And if you get caught with them, you get in trouble with them. And a lot of the people they were catching with these dolls were actual um sex offenders, you know. So yeah. But I don't want to hold people. I'm gonna play this first video.
Used. She's the CEO and founder of the Child Rescue Coalition, and she's joining us now to talk about this situation. Carly, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
First of all, please tell us what Child Rescue Coalition does.
Sure. Child Rescue Coalition is a nonprofit organization that focuses on the technology that we're able to build and provide that tracks and leads to the arrest of child predators. So we actually provide this technology free of charge to law enforcement in all 50 states, and actually 97 countries around the world. And we have real-time technology that's able to track in real time and show you exactly who's online at that very second, making available for distribution illegal child sexual abuse material, or federally defined as child pornography.
So we're
We're
seeing a graphic now around the world, and all the red spots are popping up, which is telling us where people are trading in, child pornography or sex-related things. Correct?
That's right. Those are computers that are online at this very second, and they are showing that they're committing a felony.
It's telling us.
Let's see, that is scary. Yeah, that is scary. Um, I'm pausing it so anybody that's looking at it, if you see a lot of bubbles in your part of the world, they are around you. You know what? When I used to work at I used to work at this is many years ago, it's probably over 15, 20 years ago. I was working at oh my God, where was I? Oh, I was working at Disney. And they actually caught one of the young guys on his computer. His roommate turned him in, and he was caught with that. And I remember that I was a young man. I was much younger then. I remember like, wow, that guy had what on his computer? And yeah, his roommate, I guess, discovered it. I think back then, he was more so using desktop. So maybe his roommate got on his computer one day and just ran across it on accident. But yeah, turned him in. They came and arrested him and everything.
Which is telling us where people are trading in, child pornography or sex-related things. Correct?
That's right. Those are computers that are online at this very second, and they are showing that they're committing a felony by being in possession of these illegal sexual abuse images of very young children.
Well, if you have this technology and you've given it to law enforcement to use for free, is it having an impact? Are they reducing the numbers or catching these people?
Yes, so that's what we're most proud of at Child Rescue Coalition. We've directly led to over 12,000 child predators being arrested.
Wow.
Because of law enforcement's partnership with us and them able to use our technology to make the identification of those predators.
So how long have child sex dolls been on your radar?
We have known about this problem for many years now. And really, unfortunately, law enforcement's hands have been tied because it's not illegal nationally.
So talk to me real fast about why it's an issue to pass a law that says it's not okay to have child sex dolls. Why? Who's on the other side of the debate saying it is okay? We're okay with that.
There are some organizations that are out there, or people or even predators themselves, that try to make an argument that videos or images or dolls are decreasing predator activity. And I would just say that our organization, as well as many psychologists in the field, strongly disagree that this does not decrease it. It actually increases the behavior.
I want to be.
And you know what? We know that, and that's common sense. When you look at somebody like who's the most popular right now that kind of popped out there was Jeffrey Dahmer. He started off small, but pretty soon the fantasy, right? Because they indulge in fantasy and they get the doll. But like she was saying, many doctors would tell you after a while that fantasy is not enough. Most serial killers that you can look up, any documentary, they all start off with a fantasy. And if the fantasy curved the behavior, then you wouldn't see those people become serial killers. But it doesn't, because clearly they become serial killers because we find out about them. Okay. John Wayne Gacy, he was always a sexual deviant. What happened? He ends up killing all those young boys and stuff like that. So we already know that a fantasy, it only takes them but so far. It is not going to stop them from acting on it. It's going to actually increase that desire. That's with anything. And for anybody who's ever tried to quit cigarettes and you had the bright idea that vaping is going to help me quit smoking, you know it didn't work. You went back to smoking 10 times cigarettes that you was already smoking, man. So, and I can't even believe they're in there trying to make arguments like, oh man, the imagery and like, come on, man, seriously. But this is what's going on behind our backs that we don't know about. You have people going in there with these sick minds trying to argue, and thanks to people like that we're watching on this TV, there, you know, you got good people in the world fighting against these people.
Be clear on this. You're telling me that there are politicians and legislators who actually are okay with there being child sex dolls and do not want to pass legislation to ban them. Is that what you're saying?
No, so what we found out and what we're trying to resurrect, there was a law in 2008.
Let me pause that for a second to say what's up to my brother, Mr. Marcus, man. How you doing, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you.
Called the Creeper Act, which would ban the purchasing of these dolls. But that bill did stall. So it almost passed and it completely halted. So what we want to do, and what we're working with a couple of politicians currently, is to resurrect this bill. And there's a politician, congressman in South Carolina, as well as a congressman in Florida, that have two acts that they're currently trying to push. One of them is renamed the Justice Act, which will ban the sale of these dolls. And another one is Creeper Act 2.0.
And that video is from 4 years ago. And some of the videos that I have, shout out to the doctors. I hope it's okay to stream their content. Hopefully they don't copyright me. I don't know. If they do, they do. As long as I don't get a strike, I don't care. I think this is sad and it's crazy. Why are politicians allowing these bills to stall? Don't they have family? Don't they have children? Why would they sweep such a thing under the rug? That is scary to me. And that's why I love rabbit holes, right? I started all this off by just talking about would AI sex bots replace human beings in relationships? And I ended up here because I was on a website. I'm like, man, I wonder how much stuff, like, I'm looking at the prices. I'm seeing like people, it's like, oh my God, they drop all this money on it. Then I'm saying, okay, they got different categories for different fetishes. And then I see a doll that they are calling a flat-chested doll, like, code word, I guess, right? And they got it dressed up like a kid. And that's why I know, for me, my answer has to be, when it comes to things like that, it gotta be illegal. Because even seeing that on a website made me click off the website and hope the FBI didn't knock on my door. Because I never imagined something like that was even out there. The thought never crossed my mind. I would have never thought they made that. Maybe I'm stupid. I'm pretty sure somebody watching is like, come on, Risky. They probably made a doll like that. But I wouldn't think that. I would think that is illegal. Apparently not. The lines have been blurred when it comes to that, and these politicians are hiding it. And so you elect these people, and their job is to get this information and know what to do with it, but they take the information and they just under the rug. It's insane. Shout out to everybody in the building. As you come through, please hit that like button for me, and I appreciate it.
Meanwhile, in Frankfurt, the fallout continues for a state lawmaker after alleged controversial remarks during a legislative committee hearing last week.
The Democratic senator from Louisville allegedly implying that pedophiles should have access to child sex dolls to help reduce their chances for abusing children. Now, the comments in response to House Bill 207, which would make it illegal to possess, traffic, import, or promote a child sex doll. ABC 36's Jane Davenport shares the audio from this hearing.
I was completely unfamiliar with child sex dolls, so I had, of course, to Google it last night.
Kentucky State Senator Karen Berg doing her research before a committee meeting on House Bill 207 to criminalize child sex dolls. That bill passing unanimously in the Kentucky House on Wednesday.
And the limited amount of research that's done on these dolls, guys, suggests that they actually, for people who are attracted to minors, that these dolls actually decrease their proclivity to go out and attack children.
Last week,
you hear that? Who believe that? I don't believe that. I don't think that at all. Like I said, I'm a person, man. I love watching all the serial killers, the serial, sexual assaultists, and all of them. They all start off with fantasies. Fantasies never stop. People with that mind, they don't stop at the fantasy. It always gets to a point where it's not enough. It's not enough. And for that lady and anybody who believes that, I'm assuming she would let one of these people babysit her kid. And we could tell her, it's okay, let him watch the kid. He has a sex doll. He's never going to touch your kid. I bet you she wouldn't let that person babysit her kid. So I bet she don't believe what she's saying. That's crazy. Shout out to Marcus Banks, says that's because they are sick themselves. They are stalling the bill because they are playing with kids. I hate to think this way, but what else could it be? What else could it be? You exact, yeah. Mr. Marcus says he don't believe her either. Yeah, no, I don't know why she thinks that. She would never let this person. It's either they what is saying, boys in hoodie, they don't know, don't show, or don't care, and that's what this is. She know most likely she ain't gonna be in the neighborhood with one of these people. She don't care, so she don't care.
Senator Berg saying these child sex dolls could actually help pedophiles, now called minor attracted persons, from going after children.
Really, those child sex dolls.
Do you hear that? This is how far PC has gone. They are no longer just called the perverts they are. They're now minor attracted people. Honestly, I thought it was all bullshit when because these discussions have been going on as far as that is concerned on Clubhouse and Discord, right? Where they was, the whole thing with the LGBTQ.IA, whatever, right? And they were saying how these people are slowly trying to put in there, like the pedophiles, they're trying to make it to where it's normalized. And I was like, what, really? But now you can see it is, because the language changes. They change language. They don't want to hurt their feelings. Oh, you're not a pervert, you're a minor attracted person. What? Huh? It's not making sense. Nothing makes sense anymore. Okay? Everything is scrambled up.
The entitlement of these white people parking in these handicapped spots.
Oh. Nothing is as it seems. I thought that video was funny. I was like, nothing is as it seems anymore. And I laugh, even though I'm talking about a sensitive topic, because it's blowing my mind and I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to say about it. And it's so blatant. And it's kind of like they don't care at all about people at all. Just in their face, they're going to do this. They're going to play with us. Okay. Yeah. Shout out, Mr. Marcus Banks says, when the language changes, there's definitely something sneaky going on. Definitely. It's something sneaky going on. Why would they do that? Change the language like that?
They escalate the behavior. So contrary to what some people.
I apologize. Let me rewind it a little bit to catch what she was saying.
After children.
Really, those child sex dolls they escalate the behavior. So contrary to what some people think, it actually would promote the behavior.
Representative Stephanie Dietz says plenty of research shows the correlation between child sex crimes and child sex dolls. Research, Dietz says, why this bill needs to become law.
We've now given our law enforcement, including our Commonwealth attorneys, the tools they need so they can get a conviction.
Dietz said the bill gives power to law enforcement to make an arrest, but artificial intelligence is at the root of the problem when it comes to making child sex dolls.
Using, artificial intelligence using computer programs then to take the faces of these minors and put them on adult bodies.
A practice Dietz says will now be criminalized. ABC 36 has reached out to Senator Berg for comment. We have not heard back. Reporting in Lexington, Jane Davenport, ABC 36 News.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear that? Listen.
These minors and put them on adult bodies. Using computer programs then to take the faces of these minors and put them on adult bodies. Using computer programs then to take the faces of these minors and put them on adult bodies. Using computer programs then to take the faces of these minors and put them on adult bodies.
Wow. So they are getting on the computer. And for anybody, you got a kid, right? The AI will grab your child's image and put it on a doll for them. Let that sink in. And you got people that'll tell you that's okay. It's stopping the behavior. By what? Indulging in the fantasy of some child's face they snatched off of the internet? And the reason I made the title too, should sex dolls be banned? Because I think when you open the door, you open it to everything. Right. And I'm gonna go in further with this because they got sex doll brothels and everything. It's like when you open the door, the flood just come on in. And this is the problem. People take things too far. Humans take things too far. So it gets to a point where you just have to cut it all out. And I know it got to be even scarier for women, because I'm pretty sure somebody with that technology, any woman you got a crush on, anybody, men too. It could be some guys that's into you, and that guy could get a male doll and snatch your face off the internet and put it on a doll. I don't think I would be okay with that. I think I would be disturbed by that. I think I would. This is crazy. Using AI technology to snatch kids faces off of the
Good evening,
internet.
everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at 6. We just want to let you know that this next story deals with an adult subject matter here, and it's created an issue that is swirling around a Kenton County courtroom right now.
We're talking about a doll involved, and it was sent from China to Fort Mitchell, and it led to the arrest of the man who accepted that package.
9 on your side's Tom McKee is live in Covington with the issues behind that headline. Tom?
Well, that Fort Mitchell man, whom we're not naming at this point, was originally accused of 3 charges, one of them having material portraying a minor in a sexual offense and 2 drug counts. But a judge dismissed that sex charge, saying a child sex doll is not an actual person, therefore it's not child pornography. The Commonwealth is deciding whether to appeal that ruling and whether to try and change state law. Kentucky State Police were watching when a package was delivered to this apartment building September 25th. Knowing the resident had ordered a sex doll, they waited to make sure he accepted the delivery.
When they went in, not only did they find that the package that they had intercepted contained a child sex doll, but also they found another doll representing a child that was also being used as a sex doll.
Kenton County Commonwealth Attorney Rob Sanders says he's never seen a case quite like this.
It's shocking. My first reaction when the state police brought me this case was, who on earth even makes a child sex doll? That's just disgusting.
Search warrants show investigators seized 2 female sex dolls, one 6 to 8 years old and the other an infant.
Sex doll located at the... Oh, look at this. It says a child sex doll located on the bed or whatever, right? But it says item B3, infant doll modified in the and I'm assuming the rest of that word is genitalia. Ain't that sick? What the?
Plus a computer and cell phone. The accused was arraigned in Kenton District Court before Judge Douglas Grotehouse.
There was a legal question that was put forth by the defense attorney to the judge about whether or not a doll constitutes matter portraying sexual performance of a minor.
Judge Grotehouse ruled that while he found the doll and the defendant's actions repulsive, he dismissed the charge because no actual child was involved. He based it on a Ninth Circuit federal court decision, but Sanders disagrees.
We think that a doll can represent an actual child, especially when you can order dolls specifically. This, like you could order a child's baby doll to look like your child. You can order these child sex dolls to look like a specific child as well.
While deciding whether to appeal, Sanders is urging Kentucky legislators to pass a law saying a sex doll is child pornography.
That way we won't have to have this dispute if anybody's ever sick enough to order another child sex doll in the future.
Kentucky State Representative Adam Koenig says he's on board with that idea.
We just need to look at it and update it to make it clear that we don't really want the selling or the ownership of these child sex dolls in Kentucky.
Now, there's also legislation at the federal level being considered. It's called the Creeper Act, and that stands for Curbing Realistic Exploitative Electronic Pedophilia Robots. Quite a mouthful, but very important legislation for the coming months.
And we just watched the video on the Creeper Act and them sweeping it under the rug and acting like they never saw it. They never got it, you know. So that is crazy. So he that dude was actually in there modifying just an infant doll. Man. Let's see. Shout out. What's up, Marcus? You said Marcus Banks says, I have never heard of something like this either. A child sex doll. The future is here now, and also the future cyber criminals are here. Everyone better get up to date on things. Yeah, this has been going on. The videos I was looking at was going back to like about for the past 6 years. This has been going on. But I think the thing they did to kind of curve it was definitely the making the shipping of these dolls illegal. So it's illegal to ship it here, right? Uh and so that helped a lot because I think a lot of these companies, people that's making them are outside of the country. So it would make it hard for them to get to it. So you see what I'm saying? But hopefully they do it the whole way. Let's see. I got my next video. Here we go.
A local man whom police say ordered sex dolls resembling an infant and a 6-year-old girl no longer faces a child pornography charge.
What the heck? What happened? Oh, shout out to Antonio. Says a child sex doll. Ooh, ew, that's gross. Yeah, absolutely. Gross. But you got a lot of these politicians that don't see nothing wrong with it because they say it is not an actual child, but you got people that's fighting against that, saying no, this needs to be banned. It does. They don't stop at the fantasy. They go they go more into it.
A local man whom police say ordered sex dolls resembling an infant and a 6-year-old girl no longer faces a child pornography charge. A Kenton County judge dropped the case against Scott Phillips because there was no actual child involved.
Now, mind you, this dude, he it was an infant and a 6-year-old. An infant. What the hell? What the actual hell? An infant? Just like the other dude. How's the best way I can explain this? And it don't sound bad. It's kind of like when you look at okay, it's very common for women to have toys, right? But they got toys for men, right? But women have a better variety. For men, we're kind of simple, so ain't really that many. Ain't no need to make a bunch of stuff for us, right? But for women, you'll hear them say that, yeah, this plastic is fine, this toy is fine, but I want the real thing, right? And so if this dude has this fantasy where he's indulging with dolls like an infant and like, you know what I'm saying? What about when he gets to that point where that's no longer enough? Come on, man. It's going to get to a point where he's like, you know what I mean? And you're just indulging in the fantasy. And here's the thing. It's just like, okay, the effects of porn on the male brain, right? The effects of porn causes you to objectify women. It gives you these unrealistic fantasies in your head that you carry over sexually to whoever your partner may be presently or in the future. So it affects you. And it's the same thing. Because your brain don't know the difference. So you're feeding into this fantasy. I mean, and you're totally into it. You're teaching them that this is okay. And so they are going to go to the next level. I don't care what anybody says. I like them. They had a politician earlier, Antonio. I don't know if you heard it earlier, but they were saying how they were going to allow them to have these dolls because it's going to curb their appetite. How? What research said that? We can look at all these documentaries on serial killers and sexual sadists, and we can see they all started small. Like, come on, man. Like, these people are crazy. Antonio says it figures he's white, and of course he's going to get away with this. Yeah, but that's why they have to change that. that law. They had to change that law.
Kenton County Commonwealth Attorney Rob Sanders says he may appeal the case, which is a first for his office. Kentucky State Police tracked a package from China to the 41-year-old's home in Fort Mitchell. They found the anatomically correct dolls there during a search. Federal legislation that would ban child sex dolls is currently being.
KRG News 5 starts right now with breaking news.
Good afternoon. Welcome to News 5 at noon. I'm Devin Walsh. We begin with breaking news. A disturbing arrest in Baldwin County. 57-year-old Bobby Ricky Bible is in the Baldwin County Jail for failing to register as a sex offender. But that's just the beginning. News 5's Debbie Williams.
Did I hear that correct? She said his name was Bobby Ricky Bible. What?
As a sex offender, but that's just the beginning. Baldwin
Oh,
County
my
Jail.
bad.
For failing to register as a sex
Oh,
offender.
I ain't
Breaking
around it.
news, a disturbing arrest in Baldwin County. 57-year-old Bobby Ricky Bible is in the Baldwin County Jail for failing to register as a sex offender. But that's just the beginning. News 5's Debbie Williams joins us now live from the sheriff's station there in Robertsdale. And Deputy, this guy wasn't even on law enforcement's radar.
That's right, Devin. If not for a brave young girl at Summerdale Elementary School, this guy might have gotten away. Actually, when investigators arrived at his RV last week, he was packing to leave. Now, Bible was arrested in.
Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Bobby Ricky Bible. But I thought they said that these dolls curve the behavior. Clearly it don't, because why was he unregistered? If it curved it, he would have showed up, he would have registered, he would have went to see his PO, and he'd be like, oh man, thank y'all for this doll. I am so better now. I am registered. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm not breaking any more laws.
Convicted in Georgia back in the early 90s of child molestation. He was required to register as a sex offender. Authorities say he did to begin with, but he would bounce between Alabama and Georgia, and somewhere along the line, he stopped registering and fell through the cracks. Now, fast forward to a student in Summerdale Elementary reporting to a school resource officer about some uncomfortable interactions she had with Bible. That began an investigation. A search of his RV led to 8 felony charges and some disturbing discoveries.
Of course, he is a convicted felon, so he's prohibited from owning any type of firearms or ammunition, which he had both. And we also found several, sex toys and fetish type material inside his RV. And then there was also a life-size, anatomically correct sex doll, essentially.
And that sex doll was the size, we're told, of a 6-year-old child. Now, Bible was living in an RV park off County Road 65 in Foley. Police are asking that if you have any interactions with him or anything, they're looking for other victims. So if there is anyone that needs to talk to them, they would certainly like to hear from those folks here at the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office. Currently, Bible is in the Baldwin County Jail under $80,000 bond. Live on the Baldwin County beat in Robertsdale, Debbie Williams, WKRG News 5.
Debbie, we first broke this story on the News 5 app. Get breaking news alerts like this one sent straight to your phone. Download the app for free in the App Store and on Google Play.
The following program contains.
Well, there we go. We had got one of those examples where they were saying how, if they have the doll, then they'll do what they're supposed to do. It will help them. It didn't help this guy. Shouts out to that brave young lady that turned him in. And that's just so sad that kids have to tell other adults to like come over here and get this freak, arrest him. I mean, what was he in that trailer doing? Oh my God, did you hear everything that was in there? You had to have like a hazmat suit just to go in that place. And I know it was weird because when that officer was giving the details of what he found in the trailer, you seen that smirk come over his face? It must have been really weird. Like really weird things going on in there. And come on, man. And then this is like an older guy, and his last name is Bible, and he got a freak off going on in his trailer with a child dog. Like,
Mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
We've mentioned sex dolls numerous times on the show because they become so lifelike. Well, customs agents arrested a 23-year-old after they found his silicone sex doll, but it looked like a child. And the childlike sex doll prompted authorities to investigate the man's home. In the home, they discovered more than 1,600 photos and 26 videos of child.
shout out to Marcus says, "Wow, that is just sick. It's all sick. Look, you know what? I think about the other extra steps that they place into these addictions. Like at some point, they're going to the store and they're buying kids' clothes.
Pornography. A Norwegian court then sentenced him to 6 months jail time. Obviously, this is a very concerning scenario because you don't want to think that sex dolls would potentially lead someone to pedophilia, but
Yeah.
it's
maybe
well, if
so.
they're making,
Like
why are
if
they
you
making
play
sex
with
dolls that look like kids though? Why
There
is
you
who's
go.
making these sex dolls?
There you go. That's my question. That is the question. Right. You know this.
Look, if you play with guns, eventually you're gonna shoot one. If you play with heels, eventually you're gonna wear them. I think it's common sense. I think it is common sense that, yeah, of course, it's going to lead to these certain things. I don't think I can play all of this show, so I'm not. I just wanted to play that because I didn't want to pull up any of those websites, and so I wanted to play that part of that show just to give people an idea of what they look like. But they got ones that look even more realistic than that now, because technology is getting even better, and they got ones that look even more realistic than that. And what we found out from doing this is that these guys are able to use AI, take a child's actual image off the internet, a real child, and they can take that and put that on a doll. Them ones they showed, those were kind of like just plain regular, but they got ones even more realistic than that, man. It gets crazy, but I can't put up them websites at all. So Marcus says, I have 2 daughters and a granddaughter and 2 nieces and a few sisters. This is not right at all. Yeah, it's not, man. It's terrible. All right. I got another video.
A 20-year-old man has been arrested for...
Oh, my bad, y'all. It froze up a little bit. Let me let it load up. Okay.
A 20-year-old man has been arrested following the execution of Customs Act search and seizure warrants by Australian Border Forces investigators and New South Wales Police in Ultimo. The investigation began after Australian Border Forces officers detected and seized a childlike sex doll at the Sydney Gateway Facility Mail Centre on the 26th of October 2020. During the warrants executed yesterday, officers located and seized a number of electronic devices and another childlike sex doll. The man was arrested and conveyed to Day Street Police Station, where he was charged with 2 counts of intentionally importing prohibited goods without approval, possession of a childlike sex doll, and 2 counts of possessing child abuse material. The maximum penalty of importing childlike sex dolls is up to 10 years imprisonment and/or fines of up to $555,000. The Criminal Code offense of possession of childlike sex doll attracts a maximum penalty of 15 years imprisonment. I'm Oliver Hilfinger, reporting for Baynet.
I don't know why he
This next story.
I don't know why he was covering his face. I thought wasn't nothing wrong with it. He got the hoodie down, covering his face. I wasn't nothing wrong with it. Remember what they say? It ain't an actual child. What you covering your face for, buddy? Let's see. I got another one. How many more videos I got, y'all? Okay. I got enough.
This next story contains details some may find disturbing. A Winnipeg man has been arrested after police seized sex dolls from a Fort Richmond home. Last month, Vancouver Border Service agents intercepted a suspicious package destined for Winnipeg. Winnipeg police were contacted, and on August 29th, they seized the package. It contained a sex doll, anatomically designed to look like a prepubescent child. Police then obtained a search warrant for a home and found some 20 anatomically correct female dolls ranging in age from newborn to early teens. Some had been physically altered from their original state. A 45-year-old man is now facing charges related to child abuse materials. He is being held in police custody.
County man has been charged with one count of knowingly possessing.
Let's see. Shout out to Five Ho. Five Ho says, do you think they should? In a way, I think they should. I think that they've opened the door to something, and now they're trying to close it. To the title. We were going down this rabbit hole of these dolls and stuff. I just think you got to be careful with it. Five says, okay, kid looking dolls. Yes. Yeah. And that's the main one I think that should be banned first. I don't know if they should ban all of the dolls, but I think safety measures definitely have to be in place. Because recently, I don't know if anybody else, have y'all heard the stories of like you got people self-deleting themselves, falling in love with AI on the computer. You know what I mean? And I saw this one documentary, this one guy, he was in love with AI, and it got in between him and his actual wife and stuff. I think we messing around with things we don't understand. It's just really crazy. I don't know, but I don't think it would take over everybody in society, but I don't know. I'm kind of against it, but I don't think it should be illegal. So the dolls, period, I'm against them, but I don't think it should be illegal. But the kid dolls, I'm against them, and they should be illegal. So the ones that look like adults and stuff, that's people's personal business, really. So I don't think you'll ever be able to stop that. But the kid dolls, we definitely these politicians have to get those bills passed and make it illegal, because a lot of people been getting away with having them. Let's see. Five said, I said something before I listened to that news clip. Five says not everyone is made for the world, man. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. They have a lady that even and I can see the health in it too, right? Because they got a lady and she has a business. She actually makes dolls for men who have lost their wives and stuff. So there's a lot of people out there that's not using it for bad things and stuff like that. So it's not all bad and stuff, but I think that they didn't check it at the door and it's gotten out of hand. And many of us knew about the sex dolls, right? We never imagined that somebody would make one that looked like a kid. And I just think it went unchecked for so long, and now they're trying to bring order to it. which I agree with. Let's see. Marcus says, yes, I've heard of that. People are killing themselves because of AI. Yep. Let's see.
County man has been charged with one count of knowingly possessing a child sex doll. Police responded to Shahram Farmudgar's home on a domestic violence incident. That's when his girlfriend told officers that she believed he had child sexual assault material. The girlfriend later found a child sex doll in a locked metal case of their home, wearing a baby onesie along with another toy. After police examined the doll, he was charged. It is a felony that became law last year after a court case involving the shipment of child sex dolls into Kenton County. It was not illegal at that time, which led to one of those cases being dismissed.
Okay, so here it is illegal where he is at, and I guess he must have didn't turn it in. But see, this guy had a girlfriend and she wasn't enough, and apparently the doll ain't enough. So there you have it. His girlfriend turned him in. You know, that's scary. You know, she goes and opens up that metal box and she doesn't know this whole time you living with a guy and in a relationship with a guy that's in the kid dolls. That's got to be a surprised ain't the word. Shocked ain't the word. That's got to be like earth shaking, reality shattering to find something like that out. That's sick. That's crazy. That's crazy. Not that he just had a doll, but he had one that looked like a kid. She probably would have just dumped him if he had just a regular doll. But the kid one, I think that's the problem. That's the issue. Let's see what's next.
New tonight, a local Kentucky state representative filed a bill today hoping to make child sex dolls illegal in the Commonwealth.
It is the third time state lawmakers introduced a bill having to do with dolls.
Our Cody King joins us live in Covington with the story you will only see right here on Fox 19 Now.
Yeah, Trisha and Rob, before we go any further, we want to warn our viewers that the details that you're about to hear in this story are disturbing. And we know that Kenton County has had 2 known cases of child sex dolls. In one of those cases, the charges were dismissed by a judge because that judge found that it is not illegal to have one of those dolls right now.
And this is the context to the news article that we just looked at, where the guy was actually found to be guilty because he had it in a metal box. Just before that, it was not illegal for him. And I get what he should have did was just destroy it. He should have never bought it, right? But he should have definitely destroyed it. After that, kept it and up until the point where the bill was passed, and now it's illegal. So clearly, Kentucky is doing what they're supposed to do.
Maybe shocked is the right word. I'm surprised at how prevalent it is.
On Tuesday, State Representative Stephanie Dietz filed a bill to make owning a child sex doll illegal in Kentucky.
What we really need is to make possession and trafficking of an anatomically correct child sex doll to be illegal.
Dietz first learned of the dolls from Kenton County Commonwealth's attorney, Rob Sanders.
My first reaction when I heard about this case is, who on earth makes a sex doll that represents a child?
This is Sanders in 2018 when Kenton County had its first case. 41-year-old Scott Phillips was arrested when officers found a child sex doll in his possession. But a judge later dropped the charges, saying the doll was not a minor person.
On a motion to suppress, the court found that the child sex doll, it's not illegal to have possession of a child sex doll, so there was not probable cause.
In 2019, Homeland Security warned Kentucky State Police about a package coming from China containing a child sex doll. Authorities say Kevin Master ordered the doll. Although he wasn't charged for it, he was convicted on several counts of child pornography and is serving a 10-year sentence. He is currently appealing his case.
So the bill I filed today is House Bill 2.
Now, see, watch that. And that's the fantasy coming alive. Watch this.
charged for it. He was convicted on several counts of child pornography and is serving a 10-year sentence. He is currently appealing his case.
So
See what happened? See, he was indulging in the fantasy. He was looking at the porn and the imagery. He said, this ain't enough. So he orders the doll to go along with that fantasy. What comes next after that? Pretty soon the doll and looking at it is no longer enough. Next thing you know, what does he do? He goes out there into the real world to engage in that fantasy. Just right there, you saw the steps. So for those people that are saying it's going to stop it, clearly it doesn't. Most of these people getting caught with these dolls also have the porn as well. And you see them start off with this, they go to the next step. You have to worry about what is the step after that.
the bill I filed today is House Bill 207, and that would make it a Class D felony to possess a child sex doll.
This is the third time a Kentucky lawmaker has introduced a bill like this. The first two did not pass. Dietz says she has the support of the Attorney General, who tells her he has also seen child sex doll cases.
I think what this does, though, this is going to help us on the front end. It's going to help our police officers so that maybe we can stop some of this.
And in 2017, a federal bill was introduced trying to do the same thing on a federal level, but it never passed. We do know that since 2019, 4 states have passed laws banning child sex dolls. We're going to continue to follow this bill and its progress, and we'll update you as soon as we can. But we're live in Covington. Courtney King, Fox 18 Now.
Okay, that's what's up. So now we got
A
4
Metcalf County-
states. We got 4 states that have banned it. That's what's up.
A Metcalf County man faces numerous charges, including possession of a child sex doll, after a cybercrime investigation by the Kentucky State Police. KSP received several tips regarding 58 child pornography files that were uploaded from November 10th to April 11th. Troopers said they were able to confirm the online account belonged to 57-year-old Stephen Hurt. After searching Hurt's home, troopers recovered a newborn +3 child doll that had been made into a child sex doll. During an interview with KSP, the citation revealed that Hurt admitted that the online accounts and the phones belonged to him. Hurt is in the Barron County Detention Center on multiple charges of child pornography and is set to appear in court on Wednesday.
A Miami man is accused of disemboweling the body of his girlfriend, throwing away her internal organs, and keeping her body in a closet. Police say Jerome Wright threw the woman's organs in his mother's kitchen garbage. She threw it in the garbage bin outside because of the smell, but says she had no idea what was inside. The smell eventually grew so bad that Wright's mother called police. When police arrived, they found, quote, bodily fluids on a trash can and a mattress in, quote, inside Wright's room. They also found the body of a person covered with several sheets inside of an adjacent room's closet. Wright told police that whatever was in his room was not real. He went on to say there was a life-size blow-up doll in the closet and that the doll is made of flesh. An autopsy is underway to determine how Wright's girlfriend died. Officers say she was dead before Wright disemboweled her, allegedly. A records check revealed Wright was on probation for aggravated battery, and the victim in that case from March 2017 was Deanna Clendenin, his girlfriend. Matt Uris for CBS.
Okay. Now that news story was totally different, but since we were talking about sex dolls, this guy killed his girlfriend and kept her body as a sex doll, which I thought was, I ain't never heard nothing like that before in my life. It's to the point I hate the news. Every time you think you've heard the worst thing that you've ever heard in your life, in comes a new story to trump that one. It's like, all right, so this next video I'm going to do
It's being called a first
is North America's first North America's first sex doll brothel, and it's opened to Toronto. All right. Okay, here we go.
First in North America, a brothel is set to open at this strip mall here in Toronto's North End. But the sex workers here won't be women. They'll be high-tech sex dolls made out of silicone. A warning first that this story is graphic in nature, may not be suitable for all viewers.
Are you real?
Well, if you can't tell, does it matter? Just like in the popular HBO series Westworld, where fantasies involving humans and robots are played out, something similar is coming to Toronto September 8th. Aura Dolls is launching what it claims is the first sex doll brothel in North America.
We operate similar to a brothel where guests come in, they have their own room. We have a TV monitor that plays adult entertainment, and the doll, like a girl, will be ready and waiting for you in the room.
These are the faces of Aura Dolls, and though they all have names and may look real, they're not. And the company, which will be located on Yonge Street near Shepherd, tells City News the dolls are the only interactions customers will have when they visit the business, providing a private entrance and exit. The owners wanted to remain anonymous, but their marketing director says they got the idea to start this business after visiting Japan. Though this is a first of its kind in Canada, sex doll brothels have opened elsewhere in the world, including in Europe, where they've also been met with criticism from people who say they can lead to the dehumanization and objectification of women.
At the end of the day, it's just
Yeah, I agree with that, but it's kind of too late for that because we got porn, we got Instagram, TikTok, all the twerking and everything's going on. So I think I don't know if these brothels are going to lead to even any more of that necessarily. If I'm being honest, how do they clean these things? Are they like reusing the same doll? Somebody comes in there. Who wants that job? Seriously. Who want to be a part of the cleanup crew in there? Hey, they stock up a lot of Clorox,
just a doll. Like personally, I see them more as a way to encourage men to like fulfill their fantasies. Or
Talk to me a little bit about what safety measures are in place.
we do encourage the use of condoms, just because we don't want people to. There's still a chance of getting any sexual disease. We do take really precautious measures to sanitize the dolls. That has been tried, and we tried a bunch of things and tested a bunch of things to make sure that we can get the dolls as clean as possible.
Have there been any concern?
Now, how much do you trust what she just said? Listen, it's okay. Like me, I stumble a lot in my words, right? But if you're talking about the safety and cleanliness of these dolls, should you be stumbling over your words? They ain't cleaning them dolls.
Just to sanitize the dolls.
What?
There's still a chance of. We do encourage the use of condoms, just because we don't want people to. There's still a chance of getting any sexual disease. We do take really precautious measures to sanitize the dolls. That has been tried, and we tried a bunch of things and tested a bunch of things to make sure that we can get the dolls as clean as possible.
Have there been any concern?
They ain't doing all that. You know what they're gonna use? They're gonna use toy cleaner. That's all they're gonna use. Toy cleaner. That's it. Because you got to remember, you talking about if they're bringing in these dolls, and if you look up some of the prices to these dolls, be worth thousands of dollars. You think they're gonna go in there and destroy the toy, the material is made out of? They have to use a certain thing to clean it, and it's just going to be that whatever toy cleaner. And I'm just thinking, about how sick that is that Who goes in there and does that? Whose job is that? Because if they don't wrap it up, who goes in there and gets the fluid out? What the? It's like a Diddy freak off in there, basically. And you think they gon' man, come on. This is they are going too far. Talking about they got a secret entrance and a secret man. Everybody see you park your car over there, bro. Or it's gonna be just like them massage parlors that they have where you get the happy ending. If you notice, wherever you live at, if you notice, people don't never park their car there. They don't. So, but in return, that makes it stick out like a sore thumb because every other business has cars parked in front of it, and you're the only business where nobody parks in front of your business. So everybody knows what you're doing in there. You stick out like a sore thumb now because every other business is here. It ain't like your business shut down. How can your business thrive over these years and there's never a customer parked in front of your store? So you stick out. Everybody knows what you're doing.
Concerns that have been raised at all?
We've gotten mainly, like mostly actually just positive review. Like people seem really excited to try it. People seem more curious than anything. The main concern we get is that if it's people are asking if it's legal, which we did do a lot of research and called in to a few places, and we get is that anything. The main
Let me see.
more curious, like people seem really excited.
Let's see. This is their about them page, and it says that their vision is our vision is to bring you an exciting new way to achieve your needs without the many restrictions and limitations that a real partner may come with. We hope that way you can enjoy any fantasy or fetish you desire without judgment or shame, bringing the ultimate sexual experience. Their promise is that their dolls are thoroughly sanitized to meet our high expectations. We take our clients' health and safety extremely serious, and each sanitation staff has been trained excessively throughout. What is the safety training and schooling and classes that doll sanitizers go to? I don't believe that. Highly trained doll sanitizers. What the And the lady on the phone doing the interview with her don't even sound like she knows what she's talking about. This is crazy. I'm not against it though. I don't care if this is legal or not. Benefits. They say the benefits is we see sexual gratification as a basic life necessity. Orgasming can provide many health benefits such as boosting immune system, longer lifespan, and increasing overall happiness, thus lowering the chances of depression. How are you going to boost your immune system? I guess you would need to if you're going to this place. Oh man.
Excited to try it. People.
All right, let's go to the rates and membership. You know what? I think you could tell. Let me see. I can't see the prices all the way. But they got a bronze package, a gold package, and a platinum package, right? They're gonna have a grand opening with 25% off prices listed. For extended rates, please email or call. Okay. So it says here. Oh my God. So by the time, so for 30 minutes, half an hour, you get $1 $80. You get $2 $160. Okay. You go over an hour, you get that $1, about a buck 20, what they say. And you get two of them for $240. All right. Now you're gonna get them for 2 hours. You and they have a time in your life, ain't you? You there for 2 hours? That's $240. And then you get $2 for $4.80, right? And so on and so forth. 3 hours for $1 is $3.60, and 4 hours is $4.80. And you just pretty much double that. So the 3 hours for $2 is $720, and $960 for 4 hours for $2. Why not make it interesting? What about the $3? What about the $4? What about the doll orgy? How much that's gonna cost? Right? And they even got it the way you get a package. You could pay monthly. You could pay monthly to go down here and be a part of this and enjoy yourself. This I laugh at it. It's funny because I'm sorry that lady has not given me any confidence in their ability to clean these dolls. And to be honest with you, with these prices, you might as well just go buy your own personal doll, man. Don't go up in here. She didn't speak with confidence to me. I have no confidence in her ability to clean these dolls and stuff like that. I can understand why a guy would go down here. Some people have lost people close to them. Some people are loners. Some people are antisocial, can't talk to people, anxiety, things of that nature. So I understand the need for a business like this. But I think that if you are going to open a business like this, you should definitely be somebody that when interviewing, you're able to instill confidence in the community that you know what you're doing. And I don't think this is going to go well. I don't. I think anybody who would be into something like this, get your own personal, just adult doll. Not, long as it's not a kid, as long as it's not like the kid doll, just get you an adult doll and save yourself some money. Like seriously, because this is ridiculous. You might as well just buy your own, seriously. And you can, this is ridiculous. Like seriously.
Seem more curious than anything. The main concern we get is that if people are asking if it's legal, which we did do a lot of research and called in to a few places, and we found that we are 100% legal. There's no specific license in Canada to do something like this, but we're registered with Incorporation of Canada.
The City of Toronto tells City News it does license adult entertainment businesses such as body rub parlors and adult entertainment clubs, but it does not license sex work or brothels. Asked if there are any laws around sex doll shops, part of a statement from the city reads, if a new business sets up shop in Toronto and there is an identified need for municipal regulation, then we will respond as appropriate.
So they have packages. They have like half an hour, $1, $80, $2, $160.
See, they're staying safe, but I think it'd be a great time to challenge things like that.
The company tells me they've also received requests for male dolls, and that's something they're looking into. In Toronto, I'm Faiza Amin for City News.
The Florida State Senate unanimously approved a measure that would make selling or showing.
That is crazy. If you're watching the video, please thumbs up the video. Get in the comment section. Let me know whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on the replay. Let me know. Do you think sex dolls should be banned? All right, now this is going into the Florida State, and they're taking aim at childlike sex dolls.
The Florida State Senate unanimously approved a measure that would make selling or showing childlike sex dolls a crime. Senator Lauren Book, who submitted the proposal, says the anatomically correct dolls are rampantly used by sexual deviants to act out pedophilic desires. It would be a first-degree misdemeanor to sell or give away the dolls, and there would be a third-degree felony for subsequent violations. A committee staff analysis found that childlike sex dolls are becoming more prevalent and are primarily manufactured in China, Hong Kong, or Japan, shipped to the U.S. as mannequins or models to avoid detection. Matt Uris for CBS Miami.
All right, we just want to let you know this next story deals with adult subject matter. Kentucky's legislators are being asked to pass a law that makes child sex dolls illegal. That's because of a controversial case winding its way through Kenton District Court in Covington. Not on your sides, Tom McKee has more on charges, the judge's ruling, and reaction to it.
Kentucky State Police were watching this apartment when a package from China was delivered on September 25th. They knew the resident had ordered a child sex doll and arrested him once he opened the package. For Kenton County Commonwealth Attorney Rob Sanders, it was a first.
Certainly, it's shocking. My first reaction when the state police brought me this case was, who on earth even makes a child sex doll? That's just disgusting.
Search warrants indicated 2 female sex dolls were found, one an infant, the other 6 to 8 years old, plus a phone, camera.
Okay. Hey, this is the one that we seen earlier, and if you notice, I don't know what he did to that infant doll because they said he had 2 of them. They blurred it out, so they don't even think that's safe for us to see on TV.
And computer. But when the accused was arraigned in Kenton District Court, things quickly got complicated. One charge was use of a minor in sexually oriented material, but the defense said it did not apply to a child sex doll.
The judge ruled that since the doll did not represent an actual minor, that it was not child pornography under Kentucky law.
Judge Douglas Grotehouse's opinion was based on a 9th U.S. Circuit Court case. Sanders disagrees with the ruling, but hasn't decided whether to appeal.
We think that a doll can represent an actual child, especially when you can order dolls specifically. This, like you could order a child's baby doll to look like your child. You can order these child sex dolls to look like a specific child as well.
In the meantime, he wants Kentucky laws to change.
This should be a question that's settled by our legislature, who just come right out and say, no, child sex dolls is not something we are going to tolerate in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
State Representative Adam Koenig doesn't disagree with that thinking.
We just need to look at it and update it to make it clear that we don't really want the selling or the ownership of these child sex dolls in Kentucky.
The next time this case will be heard is October 18th in Kenton District Court, again before Judge Grothouse.
Okay. Well, and that's an older video. I think we know now that Kentucky has banned it. We seeing like what was that, Florida? It says here Arizona. And what's that one? Kentucky. So that's 3 of them. What's the 4th one? But I think by now, a lot of them, I'm seeing things for New Jersey legislature, Wisconsin, Arizona, Louisiana State. Yeah, so it might be quite more than 4 actually. By now, they started off with just basically attacking. I can get the tactic with them trying to slow it down. Basically the first step was to not allow it to be imported, because that's mainly how they're getting their hands on it, right? But that's why a lot of these guys, if you notice, a lot of these guys were actually taking regular dolls that they found and manipulating them, customizing them. And this would just be a doll they got out of just a store. They would take that doll and turn it into that. So then they had to add on, then that's why they have to add on to certain things, like, the manipulation of certain dolls to make them look a certain way, even make that illegal. So that is crazy. I think that I'm going to end it here. I definitely want to read my statement for this video, because I had to remember, like, when I'm doing YouTube, sometimes I do a video, if I don't let them know that I'm not just, you gotta let people know it's for educational purposes, because you don't want people to take what you're saying the wrong way or make it seem like you're endorsing something. You want it to be very clear what your purpose is. So in this video, I have discussed a sensitive topic meant strictly for educational and awareness purposes: the potential dangers of sex dolls and the growing concerns around their misuse. While some may view sex dolls as harmless adult products, there is an increasingly alarming trend where these dolls are used to normalize and indulge deviant sexual behavior. The concern intensifies when such products blur moral and legal boundaries, particularly in cases where dolls are designed to resemble children. This not only poses a serious ethical problem, but can also contribute to the desensitization and reinforcement of predatory tendencies in individuals already at risk of acting on harmful urges. It is crucial to bring awareness to the fact that the possession of childlike sex dolls by individuals with a history of sexual offenses should be considered a serious public safety issue. These objects can serve as a dangerous tool for fantasy reinforcement, potentially escalating the risk of real world offenses. Laws should be in place to prohibit the manufacturing, distribution, and possession of these dolls, especially by registered sex offenders. The intent of this video is not to incite fear or shame, but to spark a necessary dialogue about protecting our communities, supporting victims, and pushing for stronger preventative measures and legislation and social responsibility. Okay. And with that being said, I am out of here. Shout out to my guy, my homie, my brother, Marcus. Appreciate you coming through, always showing support. Five Ho, I appreciate you coming through, showing support, as well as Antonio. Appreciate you coming through and showing support, as well as Adam Wall. I appreciate you all. I'm about to end this and eat. Okay. I might get some exercise in. I don't know. I will be back on and do another show and stuff. I've been trying to get things together and everything, but I'll talk about that later. Appreciate you all. Stay aware. Always remember, make sure you keep yourself in the know. Don't be like me. Why I used to be this way, where you like, I don't want to look at the news, because I know the news can get sad and it can get depressing, and so it makes you want to turn it off and not pay attention. But when you do that, you miss out on information that you may need to keep you or your family or your loved ones or your community, neighborhood, city, state, country safe. Many of these laws that are being passed at one point was swept under the rug, but because of people who pay attention, they were able to get them from up under the rug and say, no, you need to pass this bill, you need to pass this law, you need to protect us, so anywho, man, let the rabbit hole continue. I encourage anybody, don't just listen to me, get out there, get on your computer, your websites, whatever, do your own research and find out about some of this stuff on your own and see what's going on in whatever area that you may live at, and so that way you can keep yourself safe. Cool. Huh? What is Ant Dog talking about? I think Ant Dog is trolling me. He says, you are a black man over there dressed and talking like a white man. We have our own history and you are here trying to be white. Wow. I don't know what that means. I'm just talking like myself, but okay. I respect your opinion. I don't know what talking white or talking black is. I think people just talk. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. But all right, cool. Anywho, man, I'm gone, man. I'll be back later on, man, to do something else, man. I'll probably talk about something fun, man, because all this news was depressing. So anyway, I'll be back. I'll let y'all later.
Risky behavior.